I don't think there's a member of this body that doesn't want Israel legitimated by every country in the world. It is our key ally in the Middle East. It's a country that shares our values. It has a strategic relationship with the United States, and I could go on and on. Since 1948, the United States and Israel has enjoyed a very close, important relationship, and we've taken so many actions in this body in order to protect Israel's right to exist. And that's why we included your language and Senator Boxer's language in this bill, where we say the president should determine the agreement in no way compromises the commitment of the United States to Israel's security, nor its support for Israel's right to exist. We have that in the bill. Now, what Senator Rubio's amendment would have us do, and let me just explain this. What his amendment would have us do is require that the president certify to us before he could submit any agreement, enter into any agreement, that Iran has recognized Israel's right to exist. Now, this agreement that we're negotiating with the P5, our negotiating partners in Iran, is to deal with Iran's nuclear weapon program. I know in my conversations with the Israeli government, they think that's the most important thing for their existence. The most important thing, that Iran does not become a nuclear weapon state. That's what Israel needs, and that's what we're trying to get. The Rubio amendment, although it's not intended to do that, would say, no, that's not the most important thing. The most important thing is to negotiate the language of what Iran says about Israel, not their nuclear weapon program. And if the president must achieve that, and you're negotiating, the more things you put on the table, the weaker position you're in achieving the most important point. And that is making sure we have a strong agreement that Iran can never become a nuclear weapon state. That's why this amendment will accomplish just the opposite as far as Israel's security is concerned. Yes, it's a poison pill. Yes, it will defeat this bill. That also happens to be true. And yes, it will mean that it'll be almost impossible for the president to negotiate a nuclear agreement with Iran. I think most people in this body and most people in America believe the best course is a negotiated agreement with Iran. The unintended consequences of this amendment would make it virtually impossible to have that agreement completed. So yes, we can get into debate on the specifics of your amendment. I'm more than happy to do that. But we have an orderly process here. And there are a lot of amendments that have been filed. And we're trying to work out a way to do this. We've been on the floor, Senator Corker and I, now for 4 days, 5 days, debating this issue. And we'll debate any member who wants to come by, because we want to make sure that we do have an open debate. But we're going to follow an orderly process. And this amendment, as well intended as it is an amendment that would very much compromise what we've tried to do in a bipartisan way. And that's to make sure that this Senate and the House has an orderly way to consider any deal struck between our negotiating partners, the United States and Iran. That's our responsibility, and we're going to stay focused on that, and we're going to end with a bipartisan product that is, in I think, the best traditions of the United States Senate. So I respect very deeply my colleagues' commitment to Israel. I do. All of us are committed to Israel. But let's think about what's the most important thing for Israel, and that is having a strong agreement that prevents Iran from becoming a nuclear weapon state. Let's focus on that, because that, I think, this bill helps us achieve. I yield the floor.